Good morning, everyone. Today is tag day. We're going to work on several different tags today, and I hope that you will join me and we can have some fun. Let's get started. Okay, the first tag I'm going to show you, I've done a little bit of prep work on because I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to tackle it, and it took me a couple of attempts to get it the way that I wanted it. So this one, the base is just a Tim Holtz heavy stock tag, and that's what I started with. And this is the tag. I'll explain how I got to here, and then we'll finish it up by creating the pocket and everything else that's going to go with it. The background is Tim Holtz oxide, and it is black soot and chip sapphire. And what I was going for here is the look of After Dark. So I just used my blending tool and kind of blended those two colors together to give it like an After Dark kind of look without it being, totally black. Very rarely is it totally black outside when the sun goes down. So I wanted to kind of give the effect of dark, but not so dark that you couldn't see the other images. And then this is a little stamp that I had, and I think it's probably actually a bee, but I wanted to do fireflies, or lightning bugs, as they say in the area that I live. So I stamped it with this little stamp, and I do not know what set this is because I don't store my stamps by sets. I store my stamps by what they are. So all my bug stamps are together, etc. But it's a little clear stamp, and I'm almost sure that I got it at Tuesday morning. So it's probably like a Bow Bunny or I can't remember the other brand that they have there, but I'm pretty sure that that's where I got it. And then these flowers are actually Tim Holtz, and they come with several flowers and a couple of sizes of mason jars. And again, I'm sorry, I don't know what the name of that is, but I'm sure you can find it quite easily. And so I applied the background and I dried it with my heat gun. And then I took my embossing, and I stamped the little bugs. And then I took my embossing pen and just made little dots on their tails. And then I used some yellow glittery embossing powder and embossed it. And then this is a stamp, and it's actually a rubber stamp, and I can link that one for you. I'm pretty sure I got it at Hobby Lobby, but it's just got a bunch of little grungy looking dots on it. But I just kind of, put it in the embossing pad and stamped it, and then put the same yellow embossing powder on it, and took my embossing gun to it. So that's where we have gotten to at this point. Oh, sorry about that. I'm going to take my bracelet off so it's not clinking and making a ton of noise. This is pretty much done, other than I'm going to ink the edges just to get rid of the white on the edges. I'll probably put paper on the back of this one as well, just so it's nice and clean. A lot of times I have a hard time keeping it clean when I've used an ink or an oxide. and I don't like that smudged up look on the back. I want it to be a clean surface for people to be able to journal on. So that's that. Okay, for the pocket, this is just book page, and it is written in Italian, and I just took my tearing ruler and I tore it so that it would fit the tag, and I also doubled up the top to give it a little more strength so that when you're taking the tag in and out, it's not going to rip that top part. And so I'm going to ink I'm going to put a little thumb place on that as well. And this is just a little circle punch, and I'm going to put it, not even halfway and in the center, and just make a little notch there. That just makes it a little easier to get the tag in and out. Okay, let's ink this up. I hope everybody had a good Friday. Mine was okay. I had a little bit of an issue at work with part of our system, and so I worked on that all day, which was good and bad. Good, it made the day go faster, but bad that we had something that wasn't working properly. So anyway, it was taken care of when I left, so that's good. I don't have to go crazy about it all weekend. Okay, so that's that, and let's glue it down the sides only and flip it up and make our pocket. I don't know if you all have fireflies when you are, but where you are. But where I am is at the foothills of the Smoky Mountains. And in the mountains every year, the fireflies go to this one area up in the mountains, and they get all up in the trees, and they synchronize their lights, or whatever you call it that they do. And you can actually enter a lottery here to be chosen to be one of the people to go up and see that event, because they only allow so many people in the park at a time to watch it. I've never gone. I know people that have, and they say it's just absolutely unbelievable. But yeah, so we have a lot of fireflies here. I live in a rural area, and so they're all over my acreage. So anyway, one of my fondest memories from being a child is catching fireflies in a mason jar, and so we're going to do a little play on that. So the main reason that I did the flowers here was to just give it kind of a background, and to give it something dimensional, because if you've seen my other videos, I really like creating dimension in my work, and so that's the purpose of that. And so this is going to slide right down in the pocket. And then, of course, the pocket will be installed, on some page in our butterfly nature journal we're going to work on. And I call it a butterfly nature journal because it has butterfly on the cover. If you didn't see that in the previous video, it's not going to be exclusively butterflies. It just has one on the cover. Okay, this is a Tim Holtz die. And again, I will link it in the description box, because the name of it right now I cannot think of. I think it's something to do with wildflowers, but don't hold me to that. But I will link it. And one of the little things is still in here, so I'm just going to use my pokey tool and get it out. And I just cut these out of, this is another piece of that craft stock that is his new line, and it's a really dark, it's not black, it's a really dark brown, I didn't want a black because we have black on these flowers. So I wanted dark, but not quite as dark as what we have on the others. And what we're going to do is we are going to put these flowers on this outside pocket and let them overhang the other area. And actually, I want that one. Overhang the top of the pocket. And that way we have these flowers that are on this level, and then we have the flowers that are actually on the tag at a deeper level, which gives us the perception of some depth. I hope I didn't put that in there too soon and glue it. No, it's just really tight. Okay. I got worried there for a second. So, you know, we've got those in the back. Okay. Now let's put these on. Here, something like this. And I'm gonna pick this one. I want to set up higher. So in this one, I think I want to set up a little higher, or at least the flower parts. So I'm going to glue these down pretty flat. Wrong glue. We're not going to glue the tops because they're overhanging. So we're going to glue to a certain point and then we're going to quit. And this craft stock's pretty sturdy. So it's not going to hurt that too bad to overhang, and, you know, it's not going to tear off, I don't think. Actually, I'm going to take that tag out of there in case I accidentally get some glue on above that so it won't stick to the tag. Alright, so we got that one. We're going to do this one kind of over here. I wanted to say thank you to everyone who watched my video on the Mother Nature tag, and also the comments in my Facebook group. They were so nice. I really do appreciate it. I love my Facebook groups for journaling. I love seeing everybody's creativity and what they do. And everybody's so encouraging. And that's nice these days. Okay, this one, I kind of want these to, you know, be not down, but also that is really thin right there, so that kind of concerns me. So I'm going to scooch it down just a little bit, and I'm going to glue it, the stem and everything, and then see how I feel about that. So I'm going to make this one not overhang as much, but I'm going to leave these kind of up. And what I may do, as a matter of fact, I think what I will do, I have some really small little foam squares. I think what I may do is cut those in half. And just for my peace of mind, to get behind a couple of these. On the right side would be better. Oh, finicky. Should have got my tweezers, and then I wouldn't have my all thumbs in there trying to do this. Oh, that one's right in that thumb notch. See if I can get it off without. Let's put it on this one instead. Finicky, finicky. Yep. And then I'm going to do the same thing. Just take a little bitty sliver that is now stuck to me. Is now stuck to my scissors. It's going to be one of those days. Put it on this one and let it rest. Now, a trick for that is if I left that like that, that would drive me crazy because I can see that little white right there, which will drive me nuts. And so what I will do is I will take my charcoal pencil and I'm going to simply rub my charcoal pencil anywhere that I see that white. Trim this off. Now, see, that feels a little bit more stable to me. All right, and then we've got this one. And of course, it's much bigger, so we can put some of these on the back of it without an issue and make it more sturdy. I've been watching some videos with people that are doing the CW planner prompts. And I wish I had seen it earlier, because I definitely would do that, I think. But they're already 23 weeks in, so I don't know at this point if I want to get started on something like that. But I love seeing everybody's collages that they're making. Marguerite Miller, I think, is the person who did the prompts. And I think that you can download the planner and the prompts and everything on her site. But there are several people doing it, and it looks like so much fun. Okay, so that's what we have. Now, a note to my childhood. I have a little mason jar full of fireflies, lightning bugs. And I stamped this with Stays On, black Stays On a piece of vellum to kind of give it a translucent look. And then I took that same grungy little stamp with the little dots on it and stamped it with embossing, the embossing stuff, embossing pad, and then embossed it. And I'm gonna put this on here. I think right there. Or right there. No, I like it right here. Right here. And, or maybe right there. Oh, I like it right there because I can see the flower through it, but I can also see the book page. So, right there. Yep. And I'm going to do just around the very edge of this, very tiny, and hope that it doesn't smear everywhere. And I did find, for those of you that saw me show the butterfly journal, remember that I wasn't happy with the string that I had used. I did find some really thin ribbon, so I am going to be switching that out for some really, really thin ribbon to take the place of the string that I have on there. So we'll be doing that too. Now I need, it just occurred to me that I want to put a little piece of fabric up here and make that look like that it's got a top on it, a fabric top with a piece of string tied around it, because that's what we used to do to ours, so they could breathe when we catch them. And we always let them go at the end of the night. It was a big, you know, let's see how many we can catch, and then everybody would catch theirs, and then we'd let them go. So no fireflies were hurt. Let me grab a piece of fabric. I'll be right back. Okay, I think I'm just going to use this if I can figure out how to make it look like it's wrapped around the top. I know you guys think I'm crazy sometimes. That's okay. I can handle crazy. Okay, now if I take kind of thinking as I go here, this may not work at all. Waylon's gonna roll around on my rug and scratch his back. So if you hear weird noises, that's what you hear. That's my dog. It's not me. I'm not making weird noises. I don't know if that's even giving me the look that I want. Oops. Let's use the Fabri-Tac on that one. Sorry, I'm not talking, I'm concentrating. Can't do two things at once, obviously. It's supposed to be really warm here this weekend. Not looking forward to that. Seems like we went from winter straight to summer. Not much of a spring. Of course, that's pretty typical for our area, for it to be really hot. So humidity especially is terrible here. Allergy seasons are terrible here. I think we have something that blooms like 10 months out of the year, so there's always something blooming. So it's not a good place for allergy sufferers. Okay, why is that twisting? Okay. Crunch that up a little. Cut these off a little again. Need to clean my scissors. Got sticky on them. from something. They were already sticky before I cut those dimensional pads, so they're really sticky now. And of course I didn't put my pen in my glue, so now it doesn't want to come out. I love this glue, but that's the one thing I hate about it, is having to, when you're trying to work on something and you have to close it up like every few seconds or it gets hung up. Get different pair of scissors. Okay, so that's where we are. And then the last thing, actually two things left, is I want to put this sentiment on here that says, what seems ordinary is often the extraordinary. Because I think fireflies are extraordinary. A little bug that can light up. I mean, that just shows you how amazing nature is. And what I'm doing here is I'm using some antique linen on there to give it more this color, the color of the book page, and tie that in. And now I'm going to distress the sides, the edges, and I'm going to cut this up, because obviously it's not going to fit. Okay, put some glue on the back too. I always put glue on the back of these as well, especially since I'm inking them, because I don't want it to come loose, and I'm not sure inking them is the best thing for the sticky on the back. Okay, and I put my pin back in there. And I got these pins at Hobby Lobby because, and they are stainless steel, and they have this cute little button on the top, because I kept losing the one with the ball on the end because it was just too small. So I seem to be having better luck with that one that has the button, because I can find it sitting on my work table a lot better than just the brown little ball. Okay, and we're gonna make it up. And I chose this color to kind of give it a little bit of light and to kind of tie in with the color of the book page and the sentiment, just so it's not all so dark. Oh, let me put this through here first. And Lee asked me in my last video who I got this who I ordered my ribbon from. And it is on Etsy, and it is called Bluebird Lane. And she has all kinds of colors and color packs. She does color groupings to where you get, I can't remember if it's 3 or 4 colors in a pack together that are all grouped together, color coordinated, and that's who I always use to get mine. She's excellent vendor. She's very quick ship, and her stuff is really nice. So okay, there we go, and this will go down in here like so. And we actually could leave it up a little bit if we wanted, so that we could see those flowers in the back. So that's tag number 1. Hope you like that one. Now I am going to pause for just a second and get the stuff together for the next tag, and I will be back. And of course it will be just a second for you. It might be a little longer for me, so I hope you hang with me, and I'll be back just in a second. We'll do number 2. Okay, I have everything prepped, and so now we are going to do tag number 2. So this one, we're starting with a flashcard. I got these at a thrift store, and they make great journaling cards, and so that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing I did is the side that is shiny, in order for anything to stick through to it really well, I take a piece of sandpaper and I just rough it up and kind of take that shine off. So I would suggest that you do that, just so anything that you're going to glue on it, it will stick better if you do that. And then what I did is I took this punch. I actually got this one secondhand, but I'm sure you can find it at one of your local stores. It doesn't have a name or anything on it, or I would tell you, but this is the one I did. And I just gave it across the bottom just to give it a little bit of definition. And after I did that, I can't talk now. I took some fresh squeezed lemonade and some Vintage Photo oxide sprays, and I sprayed it down really good, and then sprayed it with water, and then patted it off with a paper towel, and that's how I got this look. Fairly simple. I dried it with my heat tool to get it dry. And so now we are going to ink up the edges. So that we can get ready to go on with the next process. Again, I use Archival Coffee for this because I like the darker color almost exclusively. Sometimes I'll use Vintage Photo, but mainly I use the coffee. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, I got this roll. It's just plain Tim Holtz collage paper. It doesn't have anything on it, and I got it at Tuesday morning, and so it's probably discontinued, I would say. But you could probably also use just regular white tissue paper like you get at the Dollar Tree. I don't see why not. I mean, this may be just a little bit thicker than regular tissue paper, but I think plain white tissue paper would do the same. And I have kind of trimmed this to size, not exactly. And the reason I like this plain paper is you can stamp on it. And so I just took a couple of stamps. I took a Tim Holtz stamp that says Curiosity, and I put on there. And then I took this little flourish. Again, I got that at a secondhand store, so I can't tell you what the name of that is. And I just put that on there, and then we're going to attach this to the top of this, so that you're going to still be able to see the numbers somewhat through that after we get it glued down. I'm going to use the Liquitex matte gel. I got this at Hobby Lobby, and I really like it for this type of application because it is really matte and it stays matte. And so I'm just going to use my little Distress collage brush and just give it a pretty good coat. Now, one thing that you have to be aware of, if you have used a Distress oxide and not a Distress ink, it will smear whatever you put down. So do be cautious of that, because Distress oxides are water soluble, of course, and so they're made to react with water, and so you're gonna get some smears. And then just smooth this down, and I just cut this roughly because I really didn't care if it covered every little single piece of the background. And just give it a good smooth, get out all your wrinkles. This is a little bit tougher than a napkin is for this application, and so you can manhandle it a little more than you can a napkin, which you have to be so careful with. I'm going to put a little bit more right there. That's why I like to use this for this kind of thing. I love the napkins too, but this is just a little more user-friendly when it comes to putting it down. Okay, and then I'm going to coat the entire top as well. And this dries really quickly. I will hit it with my hair dryer just so we can move on, but it does dry real quickly. Okay, lid on that and get it out of our way. Somewhere. I'm running out of room to get things out of the way. All right, and I'm going to hit this real quickly. I apologize for the noise. This is a handy little hair dryer. It's just a Revlon hair dryer that I got off Amazon. And it comes with the attachments on the end. But it works really well for drying things, and it's not, as hot as a heat gun or a heat tool. I mainly got it for alcohol inks, for blowing around alcohol inks, but it works really well for drying things too. Okay. Alright, so now that that's done, I am actually going to try to take these edges off with a piece of sandpaper. I just keep a little piece of sandpaper on my desk. And I might trim that a little closer before I do that. We're just going to put tea-dyed paper on the back so that you can write on it. And I think I called this a tag, but it's really going to be more like a journaling card than a tag. So we're not going to put, well, we might put a tab on it. I don't know. We'll see how it looks when we get there. Okay, I actually need to put a little bit of glue at the top. It didn't get glued down good. I'm going to use my hard glitter glue for that. Sometimes the edges, once you trim them up, you'll have some edges come up. Oh. I love this glue, but sometimes, and it's my fault. It's because I forget to put the pen back in it. Can't blame anybody but myself for that. Now, I'm going to start at the other end and give that a minute to dry before I'm just going to take the sandpaper, kind of go along the edges. And then I'm going to ink it again. So we put the paper on. Kind of blend everything together. Okay, so this is where we are now. And you see, I like that because you can still see the numbers behind it, but they're not as prominent. And so they become more of a piece. Okay, so now on to the next part. And this one is going in the Nature Inspired Journal, and so this time we're going to do a bee. Get some of these little crumblies out of the way so they don't get glued down accidentally. So what we have for that is I have this little piece of craft paper that has a honeycomb shape punched out of it. I have no idea where it came from. It was in my scraps of stuff. We're going to ink that up. And I just kind of tore around it. Get it good and grungy. Okay, and then I have this piece of cheesecloth. And I got this from Hobby Lobby. I like this one because it's not white. I also have a roll of white that I can dye different colors, but I use this one a lot. And we're going to actually put this under this to give it another texture. So trim this off just a tad. I think we're going to put this down in this corner. Then I have this little card that came from Tim Holtz Field Notes pack. It says specimen on it. And I have a piece of music paper. Ink that up. It about right here, and then I have this cute little bee, which is also from that same Field Notes pack, and I did trim some of the white off of it. The white edge was too big for my taste, and so I did trim it down so there wouldn't be so much white, and now I'm going to ink it so that it doesn't stand out white at all. And then the last thing is I'm going to do these pretty yellow flowers, which are from the Paper Source, which is a Hobby Lobby brand, which I think are really cute. I'm going to snip off this wire so that it's not so long. Maybe not. Oh, it cut. It just didn't pop off. Okay. So that's what we have. So, oops, that went in the floor. Let's start. I'm going to have to change my foam on my ink dauber. It's getting all those little, losing all those little fuzzy things on my paper. Okay, first let's glue down this piece of music. I've been really lucky lately at the thrift shops finding really good music books that have the smaller music in them and also the older looking pages. So that's been really nice. Okay, and then I'm going to put this down so that I can put this over top of it. I'm just kind of tacking this down because when I put the honeycomb over top of it, it's going to hold it down just fine. So everybody have big plans for the weekend? I'm filming this on Friday. And it's probably not going to air till Tuesday, so I guess it would technically be next weekend. Do you have plans for next weekend? Okay, and I'm going to put the little specimen card. I should have done that first, but I think I want to put it like right in here. Right in here. So let's see if we can still get that in there before everything starts sticking. Oops. Put way too much on there. I couldn't see how much I was putting since I was flipping it up. Okay. Progress, progress. All right. So now I'm going to switch to Fabri-Tac so that I can put down these flowers. I feel safer putting them down with Fabri-Tac. So I think I'm going to put one about here. I love these little flowers. They're so dainty looking. Oh, I got two of them upside down. You see that? Like that, I think. So let's put the leaves down first. Now you watch, when I put them back down, they won't be in the same spot. I do that all the time. I think I have my mind made up and then it ends up going someplace else. And as per typical, I'm going to raise these flowers up a little bit. I thought I had some. I can't get the back off that one. There we go. Just a tad. These are really thin little foam squares, so they don't add a lot of dimension. They just make it just a little higher. And actually, this one I'm gonna put a couple on. If I'd want a little added height, I'll just put two on top of each other to make it a little thicker. These black ones stick really well. I got these at Hobby Lobby. There we go. I don't like how that little yellow part isn't in quite the middle. All right, so the only thing that we have left is I knock everything to the ground is our bee. And I'm going to put him up here. And again, I'm going to put some dimension on him as well. fumble fingers. Okay, so there's that. Now, let's glue it to this coffee dyed paper. And I'm not gonna glue, or I'm not gonna cover where, I'm sure you can't see that. I'm not gonna cover this area. So I'm gonna put my glue on above this and then stick it down. And the coffee dye, or not the coffee dye, but the staining you see on the back of that is just from where I did the front. I didn't do anything really to the back except sand it to make sure that it wasn't going to be too slick to glue the paper down. Okay, press that down for a minute. Oh, and I meant to bring I have a bee stamp, rubber stamp. It's a really cute bee, and I was just going to stamp it down here in this corner just to give the back a little piece of character. So I'll do that after we get off camera, and then I'll show it to you when we actually go to put it in the journal. Actually, I'm going to cut that off so it won't be hanging. Okay, and then I think I will give it a topper, and I think I'm going to punch it with, get that out of the way, with this punch. I do believe I got this at Hobby Lobby as well. Hobby Lobby's about the only decent craft store we have around here, which is not saying a lot. But if you don't want to order something, you want to just pick it up, that or Joann's. I just get stuff at Joann's. Way too much, probably. But that punches like that, which is something different, a little different than a circle. And then I'm going to see if I have something in this color range in my ribbons over here, which badly need to be straightened up now that I've been doing some stuff. That's too yellow. That one would look nice. That may be my only option. I'm not usually a very big yellow fan. Oh, this may work. It's kind of... Oh yeah, I like this one. that's the ticket. I'm just going to pull this through here. This is just going to create like a little tab, so if we do put it in a pocket, it'll just be easier to pull out. I think I'm just going to trying to decide if I want to. I think I'm just going to attach that with my tiny attacher. If I can hold it. Gosh, turned to all thumbs all of a sudden. Seriously. Do you ever have one of those instances where you just can't get your fingers working right? And that doesn't even go through the back. So we're going to take that out. And try again. Sorry about this, guys. Gosh. Something so simple. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to fix that problem of that moving around. So I'm going to put a little dab of Fabri-Tac right there. And a dab on the back. Hopefully that won't show when it dries. If it does, I'll put a little something up there to cover it. But I think it'll be it will be okay. Now, much better. Now, if I could cut, that'd be great. There we go. All right. So there is our journal card to go with our Frou-frou card and our Mother Nature card. So we have 2 tags and a journaling card ready for the butterfly journal. So we're moving quite along pretty good. So next time we'll probably work on some pockets and some tuck spots, that kind of thing. So I hope you enjoyed it, And thanks for subscribing. And we'll talk again soon. Bye.